Look who's with me.
It's me.
Look who's right next to me. It's Julia Cho in the flesh. So good to have you here. We're watching the Lizzie Bennet Diaries.
We are.
And my name is Ashley Clements.
And my name is Julia Cho.
And this is the Look Back Diaries. Have a theme song. Theme song. Doot. Support me on Patreon. I'm very good at promoting myself. Thanks for joining me again to further explore the nuance you brought to Charlotte Lou.
Oh my goodness, did I? Did I do all that?
Yes, you sure did. And you did it with hands. This is a nuanced performance.
I'm wondering how much hands I use on the show, because I do use my hands.
Not
I use hands a lot when I talk in real life, but I think maybe for the show I kept it kind of.
I don't think
in a way.
I don't think you were too handsy. Yeah. I mean, I'm aware when I'm on camera. You know, there was a lot of
but that was kind of expected
stuff,
of you. That was like part of the character for sure.
But no, I mean, I think for the most part, I've seen you on camera in a lot of things, and you're not doing this.
I try to.
And none of them are you doing this. So, yeah. Well, let's see if you did it in this episode, shall we?
Let's see. I'd be very curious.
Hey, Internet.
Is that your necklace?
Yeah.
Was that your necklace?
It was.
That. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. We had this conceit that I didn't watch Lydia take over my vlog because she was thrown by the whole. Yeah, so the idea was that I'm so dismissive of Lydia that I didn't even watch the whole video. Sets it up badly, but yes, that necklace was the Lizzie Bennet necklace, and I kept it for a long time for nostalgia, but it kind of like yellowed. Yeah, we had this weird prop this day. Oh, you have a plan. Oh, yes. You are scheming to get us to VidCon. Which will change all of our lives when we actually go to VidCon.
Yeah, that first VidCon was bonkers. It was cute. I like that. Oh, what a good friend.
It is a nice little community.
Mm-hmm. Getting paid is always great.
It is. It's true. Well, and what's funny is I think that like this does actually mirror the journey of the show, which I think was like trying to figure out if we could get a sponsor or if somebody would, because the show was not paying for itself at this point.
No. I mean, it was almost close to like a DIY, like ragtag group of actors putting on a show. But I mean, there was a full, and I think that was what a lot of people assumed that this project was. And it's like, oh, no. I auditioned for this, and there's a whole team behind this production.
Well, and it is unusual that something like this actually had like a full writer's room.
Yeah.
Which also meant that if there was something that people didn't like, the first thing they thought was that it was our fault.
Right. And then it's you never can predict a show like this, like blowing up the way that it did, right?
Yeah.
Like it could have very well just been another gig that we did as actors, and then you move on to the next thing.
Very much so.
And then it just kind of caught on.
Here's some values being expressed. Like I care about my morals more than money, which is an easy thing to say when you aren't desperate for money.
I feel like Fat People on Skinny Island is definitely like a show we would see pop up on Netflix now. Like,
yeah, God. I mean, here's the thing: fat people, great. That's a neutral thing. What is Skinny Island?
That is.
How do I never go there?
That is what we need to figure out as the producers of this show.
Yeah.
I mean, especially during the pandemic, there's been a lot of content that we've all been consuming, whether we want to admit or not.
And many people watched this, actually.
Yay! I can support that.
A lot of people, really. I heard that so much. Um, yeah, she calls me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but then is the implication that you would take a job on fat people on Skinny Island?
That Charlotte would? I
Oh,
don't know. I think maybe she was more questioning you, kind of.
well, but her point, right,
Yeah.
is that like really like there's not enough money that you would compromise your
Mhm.
morals for,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's very idealistically easy for Lizzie to say no. I wouldn't. Yes, Lizzie lives at home, but if you live near where you're going to school, that is a smart
Right.
decision. Like that makes sense. Any apartment that Lizzie would get would not be as nice as just like living at home where
Mhm.
someone else is constantly filling the fridge with groceries. And also like her
Right.
sisters are there and she feels close to her sisters. They're still
Mhm.
clearly middle class. They have a large home. Each of these daughters have their own bedroom. Like that is pretty wealthy relative to a lot of people in
Mhm.
America.
Mhm.
And the same is true in Pride and Prejudice, right?
I mean, it's very easy to decide what your response would be without actually having to face that situation, right?
True. Yeah.
So,
And at
like,
this
yeah, it's
point, like Lizzie's still in school.
mhm.
You know, like
Mhm.
I remember having certain ideals
Of
in school
course.
that you thought, well, I would never do that. And then
Right.
you live a little bit more. You're like, oh, yeah, sometimes you need to do that.
Mhm. Or
Not
find ways
produce
to compromise or
offensive reality television that
right.
furthers negative stereotypes. We don't need
Mhm.
that. No one makes it to adulthood without having compromised some things, you know, like
Right.
it is sort of the idealism of youth. And clearly, Charlotte has experienced some things that mean she is less idealistic than Lizzie.
Right.
You know, her family has struggled more. And
Mhm.
I think it's just something that Lizzie doesn't see
Mhm.
because, you know, they grew up together, like they've gone to the same schools, like they're the
Mhm.
same, right? And yet they're not.
Not
And it is a
quite.
blind spot. It's very much a blind spot that she has. But Charlotte is also the one pulling some strings
Yeah.
to get us to VidCon,
She's got that little
which,
entrepreneurial spirit going a little bit.
yeah, we actually went to VidCon because we filmed at VidCon.
Right. That was so meta.
Yes, it was extremely meta.
Because then
It
you
was
also had
extremely
like that
meta.
interaction with Hank Green, right?
Yes. Yes.
As Lizzie.
Mm-hmm. Sure, why not? The fans loved it. It was,
Yeah.
yeah. But yes, a very strange thing. But after VidCon, we're going to Netherfield,
Mhm.
and we will speak often of Charlotte, but we will not see you for a
Mm.
while. And so, you know, I'm definitely definitely want to ask everyone what their memories are of that first VidCon because it was so crazy.
Was it crazy? Like, it was crazy for us because
Mm-hmm.
we were exposed to the fans directly for the first time and just the reach
And
that the
up
show
to
had.
that point, you know, there were comments and there
Mhm.
were, you know, we were all getting tweets and, you know, like we were aware that people were watching it and liking it. But we had
Mhm.
never, I don't think any of us at that point had experienced being recognized in public, or if we had, you know, maybe one of us had or something and it was like a crazy story, but it was not a common experience.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to whether it was as crazy for, fans or attendees, like if there were
I
people who
mean,
were just going to VidCon annually and then we just happened to be there that year, and it was like,
I
"Oh,
mean, there are
cool."
videos of the fans like screaming. So I think it was also, I think people were excited.
That's true.
Yeah, I just remember that like we were all excited to be there and we walked in and all of a sudden we were just getting stopped and stopped and stopped and stopped by
Yeah, I
people who
think we
wanted us to
finally had to
sign
do
something and take pictures.
we were, like, outside the main hall, and then it just took too long for us to, like, get away from the crowd that had started to build just in that lobby area, and I don't remember
Well,
how we finally kind of got out of that situation.
I mean, there were definitely times that like I remember like Margaret and Jay having to become our handlers,
Mhm.
just going like, "Oh, we need these two. We're gonna,"
Yeah.
and kind of guiding
Especially when
us
especially when the
through.
4 of us were like, walking around together, it was very easy to
Well, and we were
spot us
also
that
like
way.
very recognizable as a group, yes. And so many people wanted to attend the panel that was scheduled, they didn't have us in a very big room, that it sold out, not sold out because they weren't charging
Right. It was
specific tickets
at
for it, but
capacity.
it was at capacity, thank you, like an hour before, and the people were so disappointed that they added a signing that afternoon after it.
That's right.
And we went straight from the panel to the signing, and then we were walking past this massive line.
Yeah.
And then we realized it was for us.
Yeah.
And that was just super insane. It was,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like that to me is like the really big turning point in terms of the show feeling like something else. It feeling like this phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll miss Charlotte.
Oh.
But we will, we'll see when we get back from Netherfield.
Can't wait.
Hello, popping in from the future, which is now the past. Anyway, it's a pickup because once again, I forgot to look at the comments. Let's look at the comments. Jasmine Chu says, I really like how they developed Charlotte in the series. Charlotte Lucas in Pride and Prejudice was very practical, and I like how it is subtly brought out here. Love Charlotte. Absolutely. Mars Girl says, the do it for the money and end up not doing good later line has stuck with me ever since I watched the series as a middle schooler. It's such a small thing within the video, but I think it's important for me to stress how such a small line became one of my ultimate life lessons. Wow, Mars Girl. Ellen Kate says, irony, Elizabeth Bennet and her escapades really sort of did change our culture. Whoa, I had not thought about that. Ooh. Rebecca also says, wow, she didn't even watch the last video with Lydia in it. Good details. Judith Dowsley says Charlotte's eyeliner game is strong in this video, and that's important. James Kong says Charlotte is the absolute best. The people need to know. LOL indeed. Endorsed comments. You are probably ahead of me, the me of the past, who was wrong about how soon we go to Netherfield. We will see Charlotte again, although not Julia, because I've already recorded those episodes with other people.